Hello and welcome to RAD 310 Sectional Anatomy for Medical Imaging. My name is Chris Gibbons. I am going to be your instructor for this course, and I'm also the chair for the Bachelor of Science in Medical Imaging program. What is this course all about? Well, as the title indicates, it's about sectional anatomy. We're going to be reviewing the body viewed primarily in sectional images, and they can go in many different directions as you will learn as you're going through this particular course. We're also going to look a little bit at some 3D images as well. Where this course is different than maybe other anatomy courses that you've had is how we view the body. And it is in those sectional images, those coronal, those sagittal, those axial images. It is really distinctly different than a typical approach to anatomy. So with this, we're going to be focusing on really the spatial relationships of the anatomical structures. We'll go over function, of course, review that, the function of each system as we go through here. But really what we want to focus on is how to identify those particular parts of the anatomy that we're looking at. And it is very easy to get lost in the image and figure out exactly what you are looking at. You may think that when you look at a cross-sectional image from CT or MRI, they're wonderfully detailed and they have all of this beautiful imagery to them. But since you're viewing them in isolation, sometimes it's hard to figure out whether you're maybe anterior, posterior, inferior, or superior to certain other structures. And that can be very, very important if you are going to be working in CT or currently are, or in MR as well. Of course, those are the two big cross-sectional anatomy imaging modalities. The other important thing to note is that if you look at the data and information generated just from cross-sectional imaging alone, it is far more than all the other imaging modalities put together. So what does that tell us? It tells us the future and the present is relying right now with sectional imaging. Doesn't mean that regular diagnostic images are going to go away, but the vast majority of information, of diagnostic information, of therapeutic information is being generated on the cross-sectional and 3D side. So it's very important for us to know that. It's directly related to patient care. If you are doing CT or MR images, it is required that you have a knowledge of cross-sectional anatomy. There are many procedures that you'll do where it is, again, critical for patient safety that you know what you are doing for bolus tracking and things of that nature, which you may not be familiar with, but know that it is critical that you know where certain things are at in the body when you're doing CT and MR. But let's say even though if you decide not to or may not be heading that direction in a CT or MRI, it is critical for your success and your ongoing progression in this wonderful career of medical imaging to have a fundamental understanding of cross-sectional images. As I talked about before, so much of what we do now is cross-sectional and 3D. So having a general familiarity with that will never hurt your career. Let's talk a little bit about some of the course features that you'll have here. Remember, this is an 8-week course. It is an accelerated course. So if you are used to a 16-week traditional semester, remember that this is going to be done in 8 weeks. So it will feel very fast to you. The key here is time management. Try not to wait till the last minute. Do a little bit every night, maybe about an hour and a half every night, and you should be just fine. If you wait until Sunday, it's doable. You can do it in some cases, but it's very stressful. So do try to plan ahead. Now, a little bit again about some of the major course features. Reading. You'll have reading every week. When you look at the initial page number requirement for the week, take a breath and relax, because you'll see that it may be about 100 pages. Now, you'll look at the textbook, you'll quickly realize that those 100 pages, many of them are just filled with images, and it's not actual reading. You do need to study the images that are there, but it's not digesting an entire page of text. So the reading does go relatively quickly. So, be okay with that. But you still will have to plan ahead, make sure that you allocate the correct time for your reading assignments. Video lectures. Within every module, you're going to have a video lecture. What I tend to typically do is summarize key points from the reading. And there might be some new information presented as well. So what that means is that you need to read the textbook and view the videos to really get a whole picture for this learning experience. If you were to just do the videos alone, you might pass the quiz, but you may not. So you do want to do both. And if you were just to do the textbook alone, you may have one or two questions that you wondered, hey, this wasn't in the textbook. Well, then I'll come back and say to you, it was in the video. So do both together. Now, the videos aren't terribly long. We do try to chunk the videos into something that you can reasonably do sitting down in about 15 to 20 minutes for each one. So we do try to make it very convenient for you to knock those out. Okay. Also, as far as kind of major assignments, not going to get everyone here, but let's talk about a couple of the major ones. You're going to have a topic paper. Now, the topic paper is really, it's kind of fun in a way that you can choose whatever topic that you wish, as long as it's related to sectional imaging and 3D imaging as well. So it has to have that tie-in. But the topic is really up to you. Now, you'll be required to do some things for that. You'll have to submit your topic, and then for this particular paper, what we'll do is we'll kind of guide you through the process as you write it. So there will be some milestones which are highlighted in the syllabus. There'll be some milestones that you'll have to make as you're writing your paper. But by the end, it should be relatively easy for you. The next thing you'll have to do, I hope this one is fun, it'll be a case study. This will be, again, a topic that you can choose. The only thing I ask with the case study is that students do not have the same topic. So it'll be first come, first serve on the topics. And you'll see within the module on how we do that. You'll simply post the topic that you've claimed, but before you post that topic, you'll have to make sure that no other student has already chosen that topic. So you may want to choose that quickly if there's a special topic that you want to do for your case presentation, which will focus on either a disease or some sort of malady or something that's viewed again in CT or MRI typically in sectional imaging. But again, the syllabus will have much more detail on that particular assignment. The other thing that you have to do, looking at my notes here, will be discussions. Participate in the discussions. Make sure you watch the due dates on those. Your first post will be due by typically some point in the middle of the week. That allows other students to read everybody's posts and then formulate a thoughtful response to that. So again, make sure you're participating in the discussions. You'll have weekly quizzes and a final at the end. The quizzes will be multiple choice, typically kind of registry style quizzes, quiz in the midterm, and no midterm, but the final as well. The most important thing to remember for the quizzes and the final is that it comes from the reading and the video lectures. So again, make sure you do that and you should be just fine. Do know that the quizzes and the final are timed. So what does that mean for you? Is that, of course, there's a limited time to take that midterm or final, or in this case, just a quizzes and final. And you want to make sure that you have a good understanding of the material. You will not be able to look up every answer in the book. You might be able to flag a couple and review those, try to find those in the book to zero in on them. But don't think that you'll have enough time to answer every question. You'll soon find yourself running out of time, and your test will be submitted, and you'll get a very unsatisfactory grade on it. So you will have to have some mastery of the material before you go forward with the quiz or with the final. And that covers pretty much the basic structure of this course as far as you go through the 8 different modules. What I would say in order to be really successful for this course is, 1, review the syllabus. Take 5 minutes, print it out, flip through it, look at the dates, kind of see the flow of when things are due. That'll help you plan your life and make things a little bit more less stressful for you. Again, read the textbook and watch the videos because that's information covered on the quizzes and the final. Start work on your projects early. Again, you have really two kind of what I'd call semi-major projects. They're not too terribly in depth, but you do have a paper and a presentation, a case study, which will be a video presentation that you'll do. I'll give you some more information about that later. But you will want to start working on those really during week 1, so you don't put yourself in a situation of trying to hurry up and do it the night before it's due, and it becomes, again, a very stressful situation. So start work on your projects early. Also, as you're going through the textbook, make sure you study those images carefully. As I said, the textbook is very heavy on images, maybe a little bit lighter on the text, but do kind of study those images, look at the relationships, look how things change as you move through the body, as your slices go up or down, as you go anterior to posterior. Notice how, again, the anatomy moves with those slices. You will find that a lot of the images that are in the textbook may be repeated on the quiz and final. So again, a good thing to know is to look at those images. Stay active in the course. Stay engaged. We pretty much have certain due dates that require you to come into the course occasionally, but I would say at least pop into the course every couple of days. Make sure you're checking the thread discussions. Make sure you're checking the course news. I'm a big fan of putting course news in there, maybe 2 or 3, 4 posts a week with information funneling through that course news. That's really a dynamic area where we can do things kind of at the responding to the class as the class has questions. So that's why I really like the course news. Another reason why you want to check it quite often. But again, being engaged in the course, being engaged in your threaded discussions and the discussion forums, just again, that will help you be successful in the course. Also, don't forget to check your college email. You're probably getting tired of me saying that, but occasionally we have students who don't check it and they miss out on maybe some very important information updates that an instructor has sent you maybe exclusively through email. I will tend to, if it's a personal issue, I will tend to contact you through email. If it's some big change that we've done in the course, or we're answering a question because a bunch of you have had the same question, I'll generally put that in the course news. But again, check both and often. And then lastly, if you ever get into trouble with this course, if things are going awry, you're not getting the grades that you like, or something happens at home that's preventing you to get to your assignments on time, or something happens at work, maybe you've been called in to do 3 12s in a row, or you just did a double. We know that. We are all healthcare workers here, so we know what can happen to you. Let me know. Contact me sooner rather than later. Just shoot me an email. Hey, Chris, I had to pull 2 12s in a row, and I'm wiped out. Again, I will work with you as much as I can to help you with maybe assignment extensions or whatnot if something should happen like that. So, but the key is you got to let me know, and you have to let me know sooner rather than later. Because this course is only 8 weeks long, we don't have that much wiggle room. Occasionally I've had students contact me at the 11th hour in the 7th week even in the 8th week, and they've told me that, hey, I couldn't get this done because, my child has had mono or something. And yeah, we can try to work with you, but at that point it does get kind of difficult because we don't have that much time. Just let us know ahead of time. And in any of your classes, this one especially, but in all your classes, communicate with your instructor should you have any issues. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here for your success in this class and then also in the program as well. So with that, again, welcome to RAD 310 Sectional Anatomy. And as always, thank you for watching.